This week we show you some new gear from Jag35 for DSLR video shooters, including their new electronic follow focus. DVTV starts right now.
This episode is made possible in part by Dayflow Lighting Systems, the nation's best-selling lighting solutions for photo, video, and filmmakers. Manhattan LCD, the affordable solution for high-definition monitoring. CheesyCam.com, the latest gear reviews and DIY video and photo projects. Jag35, affordable solutions for filmmakers.
Hi, this is Tony from NextWave DV, and welcome to the first episode of DVTV. This is our new series geared towards digital video makers. If you've seen our other content before, such as NextWave TV, Cinetips, and some of the other ones, you'll notice that we had a variety of content. Everything from gear reviews, training, lighting tutorials, lots of different things. What we're going to do now is we're going to combine that all into one series that has a ton of variety and content, so you can make better videos. Today we're going to be reviewing some gear from Jag35. Jag35 started off as a depth of field adapter manufacturer, making the adapters that allowed you to use your 35mm lens on your video camera. And as filmmaking moved towards DSLR video, they stayed with it and have made a lot of video gear for DSLR shooters. Here we have the straight rig from Jag35. This is a all-metal construction. There's no plastic anywhere, so it is quite heavy duty and it feels very solid. But it is kind of heavier than some of the other plastic and carbon fiber models out there by other manufacturers. But because of the way that they have the counterweight in the back, the padded shoulder mount, it's very comfortable to wear. You don't feel like you're lugging around a really large, heavy camera. And there's lots of room for attachments for everything from like your zoom back here to their monitor system, your camera, everything like that. Alright, so here we have the Jag35 monitor. This is a standard definition monitor, 480p output, so it's not an HD monitor. Right now it's attached with the articulating arm, and you can pretty much then position it whatever is comfortable for you for both handheld or tripod use. It's got a HDMI input right here, and then we have the button control right in the front. So the main selling point to this monitor is it's going to be an incredibly affordable option. It's not going to have the pro features that you might see in a Manhattan LCD or Marshall monitor, like focus assist or peaking and stuff like that, false color. But again, it's going to be very inexpensive. You're not going to be paying the premium price that you would for one of those pro monitors. Right here we have the Monitor X. This is their version of a magnifier, and unlike a traditional loupe which you would hold to your eye, this is designed to hold it away from your face. There's a very large magnifier on here that allows you to hold it in multiple positions and be able to see the screen closer. Using a camera like the 60D here, you can also reposition the monitor, and so if you're shooting low or shooting up high, this is a very nice feature to have and a great version to have so that you don't have to have it pressed against your face. The only thing is the 60D's LCD isn't quite able to handle the weight at every angle, so when you're down like this you're fine, but at a little bit of an angle it's kind of heavy for it. But if you're using a 70, 5D, any other camera including the 60D, just on the back, it works great for that too. And they also have this hood, so if you're outdoors, you don't want the sun to be reflecting against that lens, it's a lot more convenient to use it this way. And when you're ready to go back to your regular LCD, it just slides right off and you can use your regular screen. Here we have the Jag35 battery. This is a unique product that Jag35 carries that allows you to hook up multiple different peripherals to it and power them off of one battery. There's 4 outputs, but there's also these little pods that you can get that allow you to attach additional bypasses and power separate devices. So for example, I've been able to power my 5D with the battery adapter, my 5D, a monitor, a Zoom H4n, and the electronic follow focus, and I was able to shoot for a better portion of a day and do it all off one battery. So I was very impressed with the performance of the Jag35 battery. With this quick release attachment, you can simply attach it to a rig, and you can easily take it on and off and position it wherever on your rig is convenient for you. Now besides the Jag35 battery, there's also these smaller battery systems here. This uses the Canon LPE6 battery, which is the same battery that the 5D Mark II and the 7D, 60D use. This allows you just to pop it right in there, and you can power some of the different peripherals like the electronic follow focus right off of this. The only issue is I was told that the LPE6 batteries are kind of finicky, so you don't want to unplug the cable while there's a battery plugged in here. So what you want to do is just take the battery off and plug everything in, pop the battery on, use it, take the battery off right away, and then you won't have to worry about just shorting out your battery. There is also this system which just uses regular AA batteries. It's just another power option. Now Jag35 gear is really inexpensive when you compare it to some of the other manufacturers out there. It's a great option for people just getting started out. Now the other manufacturers, I've noticed that their machine quality is a little higher than Jag35. When you feel it, you can just notice that it is better quality, and so you're paying for that. But every shoot that I've been on, I haven't had any issue with the Jag35 gear. It's performed great. It's done everything that I've needed to. I've never been concerned about the quality of it withstanding anything. So for the basic shooter, I do commercial shoots, short films, stuff like that. I can highly recommend their gear as a good investment. The other advantage is you're going to find gear that's not available by other manufacturers, such as the Jag35 battery and the electronic follow focus that we're going to cover in just a minute. When we return, we're going to show you the new electronic follow focus from Jag35 and see how well it performs. Welcome to Notifications, your source for the top stories in digital video of the week. Sony announced the FS100, competitor to Panasonic's AF100. The FS100 is the smaller brother to Sony's PMW F3K and has the same Super 35mm sensor. Pricing is expected to be under $6,000. Vimeo finally released their app for the iPhone, and it's sure to please by offering more than just video viewing. It also allows you to record and edit right in the app. It's available free via the App Store. In a surprise move, GoPro, makers of the popular digital sports camera, acquired Cineform, a digital compression software developer. GoPro plans to incorporate Cineform's codecs in their future cameras, including their upcoming 3D model. Cineform will become a division of GoPro, but will continue to develop and support their existing software. For these stories and more, visit nextwavedv.com for daily video news. That's it for this week. You've just been notified.
Welcome to Film Terms with Josh. Today's word is cinematographer.
I hate that word, it's so long. Cinematographer is a fur trader from the Middle East who trades fur and cinnamon. Blah blah, blah blah blah. A cinematographer is in control of lighting and camera. With the camera, there's the issue with lensing, shutter speed, aperture, filters. With lighting, the director will tell the cinematographer how he wants the mood to be portrayed, and then the cinematographer will talk to the gaffer and figure out a plan to make the world that the director sees. That is the role of a cinematographer.
This episode is made possible in part by CPM Film Tools, your lightweight solution for caging the beast. ICANN, features you need, prices you want. LCD Viewfinder, the essential accessory for DSLR video. Lightcraft Workshop, the perfect tools to create the perfect image. Linco Lighting, professional lighting for photo and video.
Not too long ago, Jag35 announced their electronic follow focus system. And in keeping with Jag35's tradition, it was introduced at a very, very affordable price point. The one we're going to demonstrate here actually comes in at under $400. So when I first heard about this, I was really excited because, again, this is one of the most affordable systems I had seen. And I wanted to see how well it performed if at that $400 price point, it was going to be worth your money. Alright, at its core, there's really two main components to the electronic follow focus system. There's the controller we have right here. This just mounts to a rod support. And you got your focus knob right here. and then there's 2 ports on the back, one that controls the motor, the other one that goes to your power source. And then the motor we have right here, this is the J1 motor. It's the lowest priced model, and it's got the least torque. So some of the other models, the J2, J3, are able to maybe go a little faster. They've got a longer focus rotation. And then the J4 model that they just announced has a little more torque so that it can handle lenses like the compact primes from Zeiss that have a little more resistance in the lens. Overall, I've been using this J1 model with my Canon L series glass, and it's worked really well. To connect the motor to the controller, it's actually just a 3.5 millimeter headphone style stereo jack, and you can actually get different lengths on this. Now, the cable that comes with it is about 2 feet long, and it works great, no problems. I've tried extension cables, and sometimes I get a little bit of rumble in the motor, so it's just a real gentle rumble. It hasn't affected my footage, and it's barely audible, but again, it would be something that I would like to see a little maybe better cabling options. I was recommended to get a shielded cable, so I went out and purchased a heavy-duty long shielded cable, and I still got some of the same rumble issues. So it could be the model that I have, or it could be just an issue with the motor that it can't handle longer distances. That's something I'd like to follow up with Jag35 and see where they're going to have in the future. So here is the electronic follow focus attached to a shoulder rig, a scenario that you might use in ENG style shooting where you're running around. You don't want to have a hand on the focus wheel. You just want to be able to pull focus with your thumb right here and not have your hands leave either of the handle grips. So as I move my thumb on the electronic controller, we can see that the motor is moving here, and as with most motor-based follow focus systems, it does make sound. So the faster that I rotate the knob, the faster and louder that it is. The slower that I do it, the quieter it is. So if you hear it fast and slow, through my microphone, which is really close to the camera, it does pick that up. Now, if your microphone is attached to the camera system, this may be an issue. It may not be effective for you to use this or even other motor-based follow focus systems because of that sound. I have found that the Jag35 may be a little bit louder than some of the other systems out there, but not by much. Most systems, again, have some sort of a sound issue. The other option you have, of course, is you can use a shotgun microphone or external microphone when recording your talent. And if you're at some distance from that, you're probably not going to capture that sound. But if your microphone is built into the camera or fairly close to it, this may be an issue for you. All right, if you've seen the Kessler Crane pocket jib review that we did a while back, you'll know that I'm a big fan of using jibs in various shots. The problem is, in order to operate a jib properly, you need to have one hand on the jib to operate the position of the camera, and you need to have a hand on your tripod arm in order to do your pans and your tilts. And then, of course, if you're using a DSLR or something that you have manual focus on, then you need to have a third person or a third arm, essentially, to pull focus. And there's a lot of times where I'm doing a shoot and I don't have that third arm or a second person that can help me out. And the electronic follow focus really piqued my interest there because that allows me to now operate my own focus without having another person. I created this setup basically with a super clamp, a small articulating arm, just a simple rod, and then an attachment for the electronic follow focus, and ran an extension, a little bit longer extension, to the electronic motor over here. And this allows me to pull focus while operating camera. So I could be physically moving the jib around with my left hand over here. And this has saved me a lot. I've been able to do several commercial shoots where I can just be operating the camera by myself and not have to worry about having a focus puller. Now, this doesn't mean that not having a focus puller is the best option. There are times where having a focus puller can be a lot more critical. They can be a lot more accurate. As I'm focusing on the movement of the camera, my focus puller can do that. This is just another option and another toolkit to have. In fact, there was a couple shoots that we did where I had to reset it up and use a traditional follow focus. To doing like a quick rack focus. I could set them in and out marks on the focus disc of the follow focus and then rack back and forth. This is something that's not really easily able to be done with this setup. Now, if you had a larger focus disc on the focus controller, that may be an option. And with the other wireless follow focus system that Jag35 is working on right now, that again might be an option. But for what I'm doing here, this is basically a really great setup for one-man shooting. Well, that's it for this week's episode. Be sure to tune in next week. We're going to be showing you a new monitor from ICANN and going to be showing you some of the gear that we're going to be using to cover NAB. And of course, tune in for our NAB coverage coming in just a couple weeks.
Want more Next Wave DV in your life? Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube to be notified when the next episode airs. Visit our website for daily posts on the latest digital video news. Like us on Facebook to join the Next Wave DV community. And follow us on Twitter for behind-the-scenes news and pictures.